The new and revamped Tesla Model 3 is finally going on sale here in the US. Yes! Now, we've seen spy shots of this vehicle. We've known it's been nicknamed Project Highland for a while now, and we've actually seen this vehicle go on sale in Europe and Asian countries. In fact, this vehicle launched back in August of 2023, but not for US consumers. And now we've got all the details on the US-bound 2024 Model 3. So the website's been fully flipped over from the old one to the new one. We see the new design, we see the new price, and we're going to talk about all that and more right now. So there is a caveat to the current pricing setup, but here's what we know so far. There are two options available from launch: the rear-wheel drive standard range and the all-wheel drive long range. Rear-wheel drive standard range starts at $40,630. That's about $400 higher than the previous model. So really not that big of a bump up when you really consider what this vehicle comes with. And then the all-wheel drive starts at $47,630. Again, that's about $400 more than the outgoing model. So we got a lot more car, which we'll talk about here in a sec, for not much more money. But the caveat is there's no new revamped performance model yet, at least not at launch. Now, what about the range numbers? Well, Tesla recently came under intense scrutiny for its range figures and revised those numbers. To that end, the long range is slightly lower than it's been in past model years. Where it was about 358, now Tesla's claiming about 341 on a charge for the long range, all-wheel drive. Speccing the optional $1,500 19-inch wheels drops that to 305, so about 36-mile hit by going with those optional wheels. And then the rear-wheel drive standard range is estimated at about 272, which is about the same as before. Charging capabilities per the Tesla spec sheet is 250 kilowatt max on a supercharger, and they say about 175 miles added in 15 minutes. So specs and options. Well, interestingly enough, the top speed is lower than the outgoing model. It's now limited to 125 for both the standard range and the long range, where the company claimed 145 on the long range before, or about 140 for the standard range. So it has seen a little bit of a dip in the top speed. Options, you get 19-inch wheels for $1,500. Black and white interior option is $1,000. Paint color, stealth gray is free. Pearl white and deep blue are $1,000. There's a solid black and ultra red. Nothing new here. Tesla usually offered one no-cost paint color, then others at a premium. So, same thing on the new one. You got no cost, and others at a premium. Enhanced autopilot, $6,000. Full self-driving is $12,000, and then charging equipment is $475 for a wall box, and then mobile connector is $230. It doesn't come, as with the current one, standard with a wall connector to charge your vehicle. So let's talk about some of the other changes. Well, styling. Revised front end. Looks a little sleeker, a little bit more modern. Same thing with the rear end. New rear fascia, new lights, that kind of thing. Obviously, the main structure of the vehicle, the overall profile, is basically the same. Slimmer headlights, and of course, the rear tail lights are now more integrated into the trunk. No more stocks on the steering column. Boo! Oh, man. What a bummer. So the turn signal stocks, right, the shifter stocks have been eliminated. Turn signal stocks, those are a big deal to me, right? I mean, it's such a basic thing in cars. It's been around for generations. The Tesla fanboys will tell you, we don't need them. Buttons are better. I've never been in a vehicle that had buttons for turn signals that I thought were better. Really dreading that. And then the PRND selectors now through the touchscreen. Also, my opinion, that seems to be cost savings that is not adding anything to the user experience. A new 15.4-inch touchscreen, though, which is good, and an 8-inch rear touchscreen, which is cool. We're really happy about that. I also want to talk about the PRND. There is backup buttons on the overhead console, so that is good. Ventilated front seats, awesome. Our Model 3 does not have that. You tie it into the app as well. You can activate them. Better and more comfortable rear seats, better padded. So a big complaint I have with our current one, perforated but not ventilated like the front seats. 17-speaker audio system, so it's up 3 speakers from the previous gen. Quieter interior, got new window and kind of quietness treatments on this vehicle. And then new customizable ambient lighting, very cool. Improved Bluetooth, better Wi-Fi, and a slightly larger rear trunk up to about 24 cubic feet. All right, now one final point. Let's talk about the tax credits. So what's going on with the $7,500 federal tax credit? Does the new Model 3 qualify? Drum roll, please. Short answer is no. Bummer. At the moment, it does not qualify for the tax credit. Tesla said as much late last year. Certain versions of the Model 3 would lose eligibility for the tax credit after December 31st. And the new site backs that up. Both the standard range and long range Model 3 are also absent from the government's list of eligible vehicles. You can head to fueleconomy.gov if you want to check that out. The Model 3 Performance is listed as eligible, but that refers to the old car, which you can no longer custom order. And the Model Y is still eligible as of December 30th, 2023, when the Department of Energy last updated the list. All right, so that's a pretty big hit against the Model 3, right? I mean, that's a lot of money, $7,500 that Tesla is losing out on. You can still get some state tax incentives, though, at least in states that offer them, like Colorado, can still qualify for the $5,000 credit for new EVs. What you may qualify for varies, though, so check to see what credits your state offers. Tesla also tells you whether there's a credit available when you go to configure it, by the way. Now, we've seen the new revamped Model 3, right? But what about the Model Y? Well, currently, if you go to the Tesla website, we still see the old Model Y, and that plays true across the rest of the world as well, right? So it's not like Europe has a new Y, we've got the old one. We're all on the same page now, it looks like, with where we're at with kind of the facelifted Model 3. I think the improvements are nice. I really like the exterior changes, and more importantly, I like the interior changes. I think it's going to be a quieter cabin. I think that the new design looks really cool. I really like the new steering wheel. I like a nice kind of sporty small steering wheel. The big bummer for me is a lack of stocks, and maybe it's just because I'm a 100-year-old man, which is a valid argument because I am a 100-year-old man. But I mean, the stock is such a perfect invention that never goes wrong. You know, you got buttons on the steering wheel. Buttons are in different positions depending on the position of the steering wheel. It's just not something I want to have to think about or deal with on a regular basis. So that's a bummer for me. Ambient lighting, I think, is very, very cool. I really like that. Ventilated seats, it's a premium feature that's making its way to the Model 3 now. All good stuff, right? I mean, it's a pretty light facelift as facelifts go. I remember there was a point, this was a few years ago, where Elon said he didn't believe in facelifts, and then he facelifted the Model S, and then the X, and now the 3. So that never really played out to that full extent there. But regardless, I'm glad to see improvements. I'm really glad to see some of the new tech features making its way in. And of course, the range still seems pretty good, but we're going to have to get our hands on it in person to see how accurate those range claims really are. And then warranty-wise, basic vehicle warranty, 4 years, 50,000 miles, battery and drive unit, 8 years or 120,000 miles. So decent warranty here as well. You, of course, have the NACS connector and access to the supercharger network, which is the best in the world. So lots to like in this Model 3. I'd love to hear your opinion, though. We are current Model 3 owners. We own a 2023 Performance. Great car. We've really enjoyed it over the past 15,000 miles. And you can go over to the TFL EV YouTube channel if you want to see our full update on how that vehicle has been performing. I don't think we're going to upgrade to the Model 3. I'm not sure I fully see the benefit of paying the difference in, well, how much we're going to lose in depreciation to get to the new Model 3. But if you are a new owner, it's definitely going to offer some new added features. And if you're buying one right now, you might be able to get a good deal on an inventory current gen. That's something definitely worth considering as well. Folks, let me know what you think in the comments below. A huge thank you for watching, and head over to alltfl.com for more info on the updated Model 3 and everything else related to the automotive industry. We'll see you guys on the next episode.